Hello. Today I'm going to be showing you the trader, farms, breeders, and spawners that I have on my map. There are plenty of videos explaining how to find the trader. The only thing I really wanted to show was that people unnecessarily build extra structures to house the portal to get to the trader. You don't have to do this. Enemies will not come closer to the trader than I am now. If you build your portal just on the outside of the bubble that protects the trader, enemies will not touch it. They'll stay safe 100% of the time, and you can use it as much as you like. My next location is the first farm that I made, growing carrots, turnips, and onions. I made a exoskeleton of greenhouse to give it a nice look, and I called it Foggy Farms because fog likes to settle directly over it most of the time. Next is the farm that I built in the plains biome for growing barley and flax. I went with a half-open design here with a large balcony, and the gardening area itself I made into sun ray shapes. This is Pigtopia. It was my first boar farm. They are regular no-star boars, and they don't produce nearly as much meat as I was needing. So that led me to create the next farm that you'll see. This is Porkopolis, my boar factory farm. These are 1-star boars, which produce a much greater yield of meat. And with the factory farming style, they're just constantly producing. I highly recommend doing one of these. Next is my wolf farm, which I have on the very top of this mountain in this hut. They are no-star wolves, and in a hut this size, I found out that you can have only up to 4, which was enough to make the armor that I needed at the time. Here we have the wolf trap that I used to trap the wolves. While I was making it, 2 wolves ambushed me. One of them was a 1-star. I was super excited. I was able to get both of them into the pit and lock them up. I ran away, went through the portal to my main base to get raw meat to feed them and start the taming process, but when I returned, they had both despawned, and I wasn't able to find a 1-star wolf again, so I got stuck with regular wolves. I was pretty upset. Right next door is where my old base was before I built the huts on the mountain. I can easily turn this into a wolf breeder should I ever have a need for it in the future. Next up is Loxia, the Lox factory farm. This is a great way to get a lot of locks really fast. In the nearest breeding pen, we have Goldie and Silver, and in the pen further away on the other side are Copper and Platinum. I have this in the plains biome because this is where locks were spawning naturally. So I built an earth wall around the area where they were spawning, hoping to catch them that way. But once I built the wall, they stopped spawning. So I had to knock down part of the wall, leave 2 of them in there, rebuild the wall, and tame them that way. If you are going to build your Lox breeder in the plains, one thing you need to be wary of are mosquitoes. They will fly over the walls, go up to the breeding pen, and start attacking. The Lox will rear up and do their stomp attack. That attack will destroy your breeder. So I recommend taking extra precaution and put workbenches along the outside of your breeding pen to stop mosquitoes from spawning in the nearby area. Next up is a simple gray dwarf farm. I kept mine real basic, just digging the hole, but you can make yours as fancy as you want by lining it with stone and decorating. I recommend a gray dwarf farm this style though. This older one that I was using incorporates using fire to kill the gray dwarfs. You bury the spawner, cut out a niche so that gray dwarfs only spawn in one spot. You put a campfire there, let the gray dwarfs fall into the fire, and you just constantly repair the fire because as it damages the gray dwarfs, it will damage your fire. This is a very slow method of getting supplies from gray dwarfs. The other one with the pit is much faster, so I recommend that one. Next up is the Surtling core farm. Find a Surtling spawner, dig out the surrounding area so that it fills up with water. You can build a little base around it like I did, and as the Surtling spawn, the water will immediately kill them and you can collect coal and quartz. Here is my Draugr farm for collecting sausages. Once you find a spawner, raise up the earth around it and bury the spawner so that it's protected and won't take damage. The Draugrs will spawn on the earth above it and you can fight them one by one as they spawn. Just don't use your sledgehammer because the AoE damage from it will destroy the spawner itself. I saw this design online for farming leeches and getting blood bags, and I thought it was a good idea, so I made one myself. However, ever since I made it, leeches have stopped spawning. I'll show you what I mean right now. So here we have a single leech, and the theory is as I run along this pathway in the swamp, I'm going to aggro all the leeches that I pass, and by the end of the trail, I should have a bunch of leeches following me. I can kill them all at once, and I will get their blood bags. And what the? Oh, what an asshole. Where the hell did you come from? Jerk. Alright, now, I ran that whole thing, and I still only have the one leech from the beginning of the run. As I was building this, I must have come across at least 30 leeches, and I had so many blood bags at the end. But at this point, they just stopped spawning, so it's probably not worth building, in my opinion. Lastly, we have the tree farm. These are a great way to get a lot of wood really fast. I dug a trench, I built up earth walls on each side of them, and I planted the trees directly in the center. The trees will do a domino effect, and you can get through the entire farm very quickly that way. I think, however, if I were to redo this, I would do about 3 rows of trees instead of 1, so that I could get a better domino effect going than just the single row does by itself. A bit of a cautionary warning: if you make a stairway like this that's really long, do not run down it. You will start to bounce and you will slam into the ground, taking massive fall damage. I found that out the hard way. Thank you for watching my video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. Bye.